But Andy, I heard about this news site called Subscribestar.
Dona eis requiem.
Look, I love all you guys. I do. I really do. Right? All of you. I love y'all. But you don't think very deeply a lot of the time. Like, look. Well, why don't you use this great new thing called Patreon? It's fantastic. They're all about free speech. They're all about the creators. They're all about just helping people out. You gotta listen to this guy, Jack. He knows his shit. He's an awesome fucking guy. And I went, sounds great. And I don't know what happened. I don't understand. But it was like, I don't know, maybe I was like really fucking high that day. I have no idea. But when they brought out that thing where they said, we're going to start charging you to pay people money, I was like, no. I don't know what it was. Like I said, maybe I was so high that my spiritual mind actually drifted off into that place that people talk about. And I saw a piece of the future, a small glimmer of it. And I said, no. I'm just going to do now what I'm going to wind up doing in the future. Because, fuck it. Better to deal with the devil you know. And I was still pretty knowledgeable about not having a Patreon. I'd only had it for a couple months, I think, at that point. So I was like, fuck it. Stop the whole thing. And everybody said, why would you do it? You fucking idiot. People called me a fucking moron. Because I threw away my Patreon. Right? And then somebody sent me that screenshot. And I looked it up myself. And sure as shit, if you went to my Patreon page after I myself deleted it, it said this page was removed for terms of service violations. And I went, you know what? If there's any of you that are still working with Patreon, fucking idiots. I'll be hearing from you. Who knows? Maybe not tomorrow. Maybe not next month. But sometime I'm going to be hearing y'all going, man, I never realized that Patreon was going to do something like this. Right? Fuck Patreon. Andy, you heard of maker support? What's maker support? It's Patreon, but they really care about the creator. And they're all about free speech, man. It's gonna be great. And I don't know what it was. Maybe I was really fucking high that day. But all of the lessons that I learned with Patreon, all that shit I talked in all my fuck Patreon videos, all that I see into the future shit that I fucking said, and maybe I was really fucking high that day. I don't know. But I went, awesome! We're putting the band back together, man. We're going to rebuild the fucking ground up. Right? Handy. Did you hear that Stripe cut off maker support and froze everything? Everybody's losing all their fucking money. And I went... And I actually thought to myself, like, why did I do that? Because I should have fucking well known. Right? Because look, you have to understand something. You know, wacky pop culture has been twistedly telling the future for forever. What's like the popular racist thing to say about Jewish people? Man, there's a cave somewhere and there's like 9 Jews and they all run everything. Right? That old fucking shit. When Jews run everything and right? All that shit the racists used to say. Like I said, twistedly telling the future, because it isn't Jews, it's leftists, and there's like 9 of them that control all the major tech companies, the tech companies that control all of the tech, right? Who are they? Alphabet, because they own Google and YouTube and all that shit, right? And then, well, Fox News. Oh, they're the good guys, right? Well, I mean, the parent company that owns Fox News also owns the Wall Street Journal. Well, we know what pieces of shit the Wall Street Journal are. What does that mean? Fuck. Okay, so then, you know, so you got your Google and all that shit. All these media companies, they're all owned by fucking 3 different companies. Disney owns half of them. Right? It's 9 leftists. And they all live in a little fucking cave together. And they just run the world. And the way they do it is, they decide what you get to do. Like, this was kind of going to be a spiel that I was going to give out over the time that I'm going to be doing all the things that I'm taking notes as I just comb through every bit of my past for 8 hours a day as I work. Well, you know, the weeks that I get to do the mindless shit, unfortunately I have to think about my job this week, but whatever. But all I do is sit and fucking think about shit we're not allowed to do anymore in entertainment. Did anybody else get really like a fucking thing in their gut when they heard me say that? What you're allowed to do in entertainment, i.e., what you, the consumer, are allowed to see and experience. Last one I did, Spaceballs. They could never make that movie these days. Could never do it. Which means that people are saying that that sort of entertainment, no matter the context, even if it's just comedy, you don't get that. That's a way to control you. You get that, right? That controls you. We know the things that we know. But we utilize the knowledge that we utilize daily. And if the way we utilize our knowledge now about certain things and topics is this is bad, that's going to ingrain itself in us. And what do you think that is? Mind control, right? Jesse Ventura, mind control. That's... They control everything. And the thing is, here's the fun part. You don't know this because we don't actually live in movies. But we're kind of living in a movie right now. People are starting to try and fight back. It's not going successfully. People are trying to fight back. And I would say that originally Jack Conte was probably the type of guy that was originally trying to fight back. But he sold Patreon, from what I understand. I may be wrong on this. He may have just sold himself, whatever. I don't know. Whatever it was. He started making a lot of money. And it gets scary when you're making a lot of money. The possibility of losing all that money. Right? And public opinion is swayed by pop culture. Right? Except nowadays, pop culture is so fucking out there that 92% of people, quite literally, 92% of people are either like, oh my god, or they're like, dude, just... But it's all varying degrees of just exhausted with it. The PC culture, we're exhausted with it. And it's funny. Another movie that could never be made these days. Just simply because it's dangerous propaganda now, right? PCU. You should look into it. It's actually a really fucking good movie. It's really funny. PCU. See, we predict our future in the ways we satirize things. Shit we make fun of now is stuff we're going to really be sweating later on. And here we are. The PC culture was such a joke for such a long time. And then at some point, people started to buy into this shit. And here we are. And there really isn't many people that give a fuck about it as much. But yet, here we are. How do we get to a point where 8% of the population is literally dictating what we get to experience on a daily basis? What we get to say to each other? What's acceptable? How do we get there? Because there's 9 people that control everything. And we have no rights in their universe. So, all we have is the rights that they grant to us within the terms of service. You heard about this site called SubscribeStar? Yeah. Like, honestly, the only reason that I'm bothering to keep the PayPal open is because I seriously, I just don't give enough of a fuck to close it. Let them toss me. At this point, I'm kind of like, let them toss me. What am I going to do? You know what I mean? PayPal's in with them too. 9 people in a cave. The shit we make fun of becomes reality. How the fuck? You know, you shouldn't pick on that kid. Because one day he might be a congressman. And we'll all be fucked. That's the lesson we need to start teaching our kids. It isn't don't pick on each other because it's mean and wrong and it hurts. But because someday that's just going to drive the little nerds into becoming fucking senators, and then they're going to just fuck all of our future generations into 1,000 years of darkness. 1,000 years of darkness. I'm going back into 1,000 years of darkness mode. Jesus Christ. I can't win. No matter what, I can't win. Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, I'm not doing fucking SubscribeStar. Not gonna bother with it. I'm not gonna waste the time because they've made the choice to cut off PayPal, which made my ears perk up. But all that means is they're just gonna crush them through the banks. You know? Like the Fed doesn't like that states are selling marijuana. So they can't do anything against states' rights because they can't do anything against states' rights. But They own all the banks, don't they? So here's what we're going to do. We're just not going to take their money. Awesome. Like, it's just how they do you. And all the weed people were like, well, fuck it, we'll just deal in cash now. Most of them have been dealing drugs for years anyways. They've always dealt in cash. I don't know if that's true. But, you know what I mean? Like, it's always been a cash business. So it's not really crazy that it's a cash business still. Like, people that bought weed before, that can buy it legally now, most likely, they're fairly used to paying in cash. So, but these people can literally, like, shut you down. And they're doing it with people. And it's getting so bad now that they're literally breaking their own terms of service and saying, we just don't like you. I mean, that's what it comes. They're fucking two-stepping it and fancy talking it. And, fuck them. No. And it all goes that way. It all goes that way. There has to be something rock solid separate. There has to be a banking institution behind it that will openly come out and say publicly, if people want to give money to the alt-right, we're cashing the checks. Right? Like, they have to say that exactly in those words. Because, not exactly, I don't have to say we're cashing the checks, but you know what I mean. Because that's the whole thing of it. Every time the people that don't like what people like Sargon and Bering and Undoomed and myself and all the others, every time somebody doesn't like what all these guys say, they figure out a way to fuck them off. And they can't do it through YouTube. Because it would just be too big of a thing. It would be too fucking obvious. They try and they try every way that they can, but it just never seems to stick, right? Because it just can't. It can't stick. So, here we are in this situation. Well, how do we get rid of these people? Well, you know, they think they're professional. Cut their fucking money. And they start cutting their money. We'll demonetize YouTube to keep YouTube safe. Well, okay. Well, now we're not making any money on YouTube. We have to find an alternative way to make money. Here's this great site. And then they get big enough to the point where they got everybody collected. They're making a good lot of money. And then one of the 9 guys goes, look at that. We need to buy that. And then sends out some fucking company to go and buy that shit. And now they own it. And therefore control it. And then they wait, and then they finally said, nah, fuck it. And just, no, burn it to the ground. We don't care about that company. And that's the way it's going to go. Patreon's going to burn to the ground. Because now everybody's so pissed off. And this is not, they're not, sorry, and walking this one fucking back. They don't give a fuck now. Right? Under new management. They don't care. So, they're going to let Patreon burn. And Patreon's going to burn, and then no more Patreon. Maker support's already gone, so everybody goes to the next one, which is Subscribestar. And they're already starting to attack Subscribestar. That's already begun. Like, how long do you think it's going to take? Seriously, it isn't worth the half an hour it would take me to set up a fucking page. It isn't worth the effort. So, unless there becomes an established alternate internet, right? Right now we got www. World Wide Web. As soon as there becomes a whatever, some alternate thing that is controlled by its own financial institution, there's no point. There really just isn't. So, you creators out there, you hopeful creators, you need to look up the term starving artist, and you need to get a real job. And you need to make sure that you get a good job, because you're going to have to pay the bills. And it just isn't going to fucking happen. Unless you're already making it, you're fucked. And it's just the way it is, man. It's hard. It's getting hard. And that's why I just kind of do it for fun. That's why I've been taking so many days off lately. I've been very busy. I've been trying to fucking learn how to launch a nuke in Fallout 76. On top of everything else that's been going on. And I've had a lot of shit going on. My dental work's all done now. But yeah. There you go, man. That's your lesson for today. It's hard. And if you want to do it, do it. I still wouldn't say don't do it. I still couldn't say don't do it. If you want to do it, do it. Go out and do your thing. Whatever your thing may be, go do your thing. And because sooner or later, it's going to happen. This is America. Like, when it comes down to it, straight up, this is America. And one of the things we don't really deal with very well is actual oppression. Like, when people fight against fake oppression, everybody kind of laughs at them. But when people actually start to feel as if they are being oppressed, when it starts to actually enter into people's minds that, oh my God, this is quite literally mind control, somebody's going to fight back. And it's going to be by saying, we are literally welcoming all comers. If you come onto this platform, then that's it. It's over. You are entering the adult zone, and anything may go. We're going to still fundamentally run everything the same way. It's just, go ahead and rant. You guys want to fucking go on and say whatever you want to say, do whatever you want to do. Don't care. As long as everything's still legal and whatnot, you know, do your fucking thing. And we're backed by X Bank. Until that happens, yeah, it isn't worth it. But it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. I've already heard rumblings of exactly pretty much that. So we'll have to see how that happens. But it'll be interesting.